Hello, Black Indigo. I thought I'd respond to your video here about deception. And first of all, I want to say, you talk about some interesting topics. Like when you start touching on the historical root about where African Americans come from and about a lot of issues that need to be straightened up within the African American race. And I be want to respond to so many of your videos, but since I be so busy all the time, it be kind of hard and difficult to do that. Kind of scoot up here, but anyways, what I wanted to like in reference to what you were speaking about is the Willie Lynch letter, the making of a slave. Kind of read up on some of the stuff that you left out there on your video to kind of link to that deception. Now, if for those who ain't familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, this is basically the origin of the African American culture as far as why we are the way we are for those who choose to be that way. So as far as the modern day culture, the African American, of course it got a lot to do with slavery, but the Willie Lynch letter really blow your mind about the male and the female, how they isolate, where they individually individually tamed up the male and the female to be a certain way. And indeed, those same effects that I read in Willie Lynch letter, you still see within our race. So, but I guess I'm gonna get to it and read up what I want to read up. And this is the Willie Lynch letter, like I said, making of a slave, and the subtitle for the section or paragraph I'm reading is called Possible Interloping Negatives. Now I say warning possible interloping negatives. And I want to read what I marked here to kind of give you and several others that watch your channel some insight about our race. And this is the Willie Lynch system. Of course, there's still results of it still lingering within the minds of our people. It says, and what I marked out of the paragraph, we created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever, unless a phenomenon occur and reshifts position of the male and female savages. Our expert warns us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring, for they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. Rewind it. If it can touch some substantial original historical base. And keep going. And they advised us that the best way to deal with the phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena, of illusions, so that each illusion would twirl in its own orbit, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. So all these illusions they talk about is the lies that they put out there that would twirl on its own axis, causing us to believe all these different lies. So the phenomenon or the illusion they talk about, like vacuums in a ball, if you ever watch Powerball, and you know when the little balls going everywhere and they stick their hand down there and pull a number out, and or the numbers will pop up, each number will pop up on Powerball and they call them out, do the little vacuums. Well, kind of like that. So all these lies going everywhere, twirling in all the minds of the African American slaves, what they put out there for them. Because like they said, if the mind can touch some substantial historical base, original historical base, meaning that the mind will recorrect itself. So that's why they didn't want us to know our history. That's why they shut it out, because they had this fear of this right here, of us finding our history and start trying to dominate and conquer, like how we originally was when Israel and Egypt was one. One more thing I wanted to read, the last part of the letter. It says, let me see. Oh, here we go. This is Henty. Yeah, I said it right. I've never heard nobody named Henny. Henny Berry. speaking in the Virginia House of Delegates in 1832. It says, describe the situation as it existed in many parts of the South at this time. End quote. We have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light may enter their minds. Talking about the slaves. If we could extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work would be complete. They would then be on a level with the beasts of the field, and we should be safe. I'm not certain that we would not do it if we could find out the process, and that on the plea of necessity. So, trying to close out every avenue of light, trying to shut us out from our knowledge, and the slave masters at the time, the Europeans, etc., tried to cut us off, or our ancestors off, from learning how to read. They didn't want to learn how to read because, okay, wait a minute, I'm reading, wait, we the Egyptians, this our culture, this our habitat, this our heritage, this where we come from. So they was afraid of that, so now they started painting all those brown skinned hieroglyphics, Egyptian hieroglyphics, pink, or start showing them pictures of the pink people, the pink Egyptians, the pink Israelites, and so forth. So for those, viewing my channel, just telling it like it is. The truth is the truth. There's a lot of honest truth, a lot of white blacks willing to accept a white Jesus quicker than a lot of whites willing to accept the actual true fact of a black Jesus. When it comes to blacks accepting a white Jesus, you got a lot accept them, no problem. But when it's the other way around, whites accepting a black Jesus, which he originally, or not originally, but he is that color, solid evidence he is, it's like, whoa, I don't know if I could handle it. I don't know how to digest it. So yeah, it's still a lot of things in this country to be worked on. But like I said in Revelation 18, come out of her, my people. Come out of her. Come out of her, as far as come out of this state of mind. Come out of that state of mind thinking you're an American. You're not an American. You're an Israelite. So yeah. But that's pretty much it. I said I thought that was interesting, that video you left for deception. So I did kind of like a root about Israel being in America. That was the last video segment I left. It's pretty lengthy. It's 9 videos long, but it's a whole lot of stuff to cover. Yeah, and I made sure I didn't leave no gaps and covered it from A to Z, proving that African Americans born in America are the Israelites, and how this all part of prophecy was going on, politics, etc. So I leave it at that. So shalom.